Welcome back. This is Sandy with Sandy's Organized Chaos, and today we are going to be doing some hand-inked rustic rose flowers. These flowers are super simple to make, and you will never know your own artistic ability unless you give it a try. So let's get to it. The base that I'm using today is just a light blue with a crackle finish, and then I gave that a coat of epoxy and let that dry for 24 hours before I apply my flowers. I'm going to start with the background of the flowers first, just so I know where I want to place them. I'm going to be mixing up a green, which is a blue and orange alcohol ink mixed together, and then I'm just going to place that around my tumbler until I like the way that looks. As you can see in my background, I have a red, blue, orange, a brown, and a pink alcohol ink. I also have a yellow acrylic paint that I'll be using in the end. I have my rubbing alcohol for mixing and blending. And the brushes that I'm using are actually just cut up foam brushes because I like how it comes to a point and I can just throw those away and cut up some more brushes if I need to. When making that green, the more blue you add to that orange, the brighter the green. The more orange you add, the browner the green will be. Now that my base is covered with my leaves, I'm going to take my pink and my red alcohol ink, and I'm going to come in and I'm just going to place dots of red around where my flowers will be. The purpose for putting the alcohol ink on the plate as opposed to just dropping it on the cup is so that way I have more control when I go to put it onto the tumbler. The type of brush I like to use when I'm doing the flowers is more of a stiff bristled brush, so that way I can come in and I just dab those circles around. The more that you dab, the more that you will notice how the alcohol ink kind of separates from each other and it will start to make the look of petals. As you can see here, I'm just trying to think, it just needed something a little more, so I decided to come fully under the tumbler onto the bottom. When I do these leaves, I am just barely tapping because, like I said, once that alcohol ink touches each other, it spreads out. So I just wanted some softness just to kind of break up everything. That my base is put down, I'm going to come back through with my red and I'm going to use my dabbing motion and create some more flowers. The more that I layer, the more that those petals stand out to me. Now we are going to come back through and add even more definition to those petals. I took my rubbing alcohol and I spritz it directly onto that red that I was using. And I'm just going to find where I think the center should be. And I'm going to just dab that around even more, and you can start to see those petals really start to come through. Creating something artistic like this, there is no right or wrong way. These are just ideas that I'm giving you that I hope you push yourself outside of your own comfort zone and you give this a try. I'm going to continue to take that red alcohol ink that I am thinning out with my rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to just keep dabbing it into the center where I would like the middle of those roses to be. You can see here, some of my red ran over, but that's completely okay. I'm going to take some more of my red, and we're going to add another little flower right next to that one. kind of an up close look as to what that rubbing alcohol does to the ink once you just apply just a tiny drop of it. It just separates it. As you can see here, I am taking probably about 3 drops of blue and 1 drop of orange because I want to make a brighter green. I'm going to take that brighter green and I'm just going to highlight my leaves before I add any more flowers. You can see here I am just lightly tapping that light green around my flowers just to fill in where I think there should be just a little bit more foliage. I'm even going to add just a rustic looking leaf because you don't want it to be perfect. You want it to look a little abstract, a little rustic. Once my leaves are the way I like, I'm going to come back through with my red and my pink alcohol inks, and I'm going to add a couple more flowers because I feel like it just needed just a few more. Don't be afraid to take your brush and bring one of those flowers up and over the bottom of that tumbler. There is a lot of layering involved in this, but this will be something that will for sure wow your customers. And like I always say, these tumblers are walking art pieces. This is an extension of your capability as a maker to step outside and do something off the wall and something that is one of a kind. Now we are ready to wrap these roses up and do the middle portion. I take orange alcohol ink and I just place dabs into each center of the rose. Here is where you really start to see all that hard work come together and those roses really start to take place. Now I'm going to take my yellow acrylic paint and I'm going to take the bottom of my brush and I'm going to just put a dab of that yellow and I'm just going to put dots in the center of my roses. Once I have completed putting the dots of acrylic paint on my roses, I'm going to come back through and just kind of tidy them up just a little bit more, and then I'm going to let that completely dry, probably for about an hour. The acrylic paint takes a little bit longer. That alcohol ink dries instantly though. You want to make sure that once it is completely dry, you give it a nice coat of clear coat and it'll be ready for that last coat of epoxy. I hope that you've seen how simple and easy these flowers are to do and take that leap to try something new today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.